Look good.
Thanks to
Uh-huh.
having a clear mind,
A clear
a
mind.
clear conscience, and not harboring any negative thoughts in my head. I usually say to those who know me that um, I have no room in my head to vent out to negative thoughts and negativity. I prefer to remain positive.
I love that. We'll be
Yes.
talking a lot more tonight, but once again, you're most welcome. We're live with Star Chat right here in Accra on Star FM 103.5. And of course, in Second D Takrade on Empire 102.7 FM. And Ultimate FM in Kumasi, that's 106.9. Star Chat is proudly brought to you by MTN everywhere you go and Star Assurance. So a lot more coming up. And
Okay.
Mr. Paul Afoko, tell me, do you still consider yourself an active player in politics? Or you're now more of a statesman, observer? Are we looking at a returning to active politics? Chairman?
Active player. Um, I don't know how to describe myself now. I still hold a lot of political thoughts. I do a lot of thinking around politics. Bola, you know, this has been with me from childhood. So, active. Yes, I am active.
You are.
Yes, I am active.
Are you coming back in full swing?
I am not talking about party political activity,
No?
but I am active.
You're active.
Yes, I actually have links with others outside of Ghana, and we discuss politics,
Right.
African politics, the way we are going, where we are going as a continent and as a people and as a country. So I am still active.
You're still active.
And don't forget, I did international relations, so
Certainly.
I'm very much interested.
That's interesting to note, and I want to also know from you. Recently, there's been a call from your party. I don't know whether you're still a member. Do you still consider yourself a member of the NPP?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you are.
Oh, yes. You know, I think a lot of people don't know or have not followed closely what happened
Tell us.
when I went to court challenging my indefinite suspension as
yeah.
a chairman. The judge, God rest his soul, Anthony Yeboah, he actually said in court that if the party had actually meant to suspend me indefinitely, as he was saying, as chairman, and I have a definite mandate, then if the suspension went over that line, it would have meant a dismissal. So they would have had to go back to Congress and get a 75% majority saying I should leave. But having said that, he, the judge, completely dealing with something that wasn't placed before him, then said that as the order of the court, he was ordering that I be removed from the party as a member. Even though all the witnesses from the party said, no, he's still a member, he's only suspended as chairman. But the judge said, no. If you persist in saying that he is suspended as a chairman,
That he ceases to be a member.
and then he continues, and it continues beyond his tenure, then you've sacked him. So I, the judge, am going to make it easy for everybody. I am removing Afoko as a member of the party. And if he's not a member of a party, he cannot be a chairman of that party. But the day my tenure ends, then my membership is restored.
God.
That's what the judge said.
So as it stands now, or maybe after that, after your tenure, you actually became a member.
Yes.
Automatically as a member of the party.
By
So
order
the
of the
call
court.
for all to join, many that were suspended, to come back now, you don't see yourself to be a part of that.
No, I don't.
Interesting. Thanks for the clarification. So,
I
because
don't.
many have held, and I believe that you know, that they thought that you were on suspension, so this call meant that you've all gone back. But you are saying here and now that you are a member even before the school.
Yes, I am a member. I mean, it depends on whether you want to see the court order
Right.
as an a la carte menu. You pick and choose what you want. The court order is a set meal, you eat it. You are
It's
removed
fact-
as a member, and when your tenure ends, you are reinstated as a
As
member.
a member.
That was the court order.
Right. So, with that being said, were you following closely? Were you taking part in activities as a member of the New Patriotic Party?
No, I wasn't.
Why?
I wasn't because I needed to move on. I really needed to move on.
Have you moved on from the MPP?
I'm not moved on from the MPP, but moved on in terms of all the problems that came with the suspension, the removal from the party, and the reinstating, all of that, because it was a torrid time.
Very
I'm
torrid.
sure you followed it.
Were you bitter? Were you hurt, Chairman Afoko? Be sincere, be candid with us on Starchat.
Yes, I am going to be, because for 9 years I've kept quiet. And at one point, I really believed that I would be helping the party when the government at the time had just come in under Nana Akufo Addo. I was called on air and asked, do you think Akufo Addo is going to be able to meet the promises he made for the 100 days? And I responded by saying, no, he can't. No government can. I mean, if you say you have your whole government in place, don't forget even the presiding member down there at the assembly is part of the government structure. And if all those pieces are not in place, and don't forget, 100 days is only 3 months and 10 days. By the time he forms his government and all that. So I think we should give him some slack and allow him. It was a torrent of attack, virulent attack.
You were attacked?
Yes, from within the MPP, on air. Afoko says Akufo Addo is going to fail. And I was sitting at home, I never even heard it. Then one of the most revered presidents we've ever had, President Akufo, he called me and said, where are you, Paul? I said, I'm at home. He said, I'm also at home, come over. And at that time we were neighbors, so I just went over to him. And he said, what have you been saying on air? I said, oh, nothing much. He said, you've just been saying the government will fail? I said, no, I never said that. And I said, luckily, I record my calls. So I pulled out my phone and I played it out to him. He listened and finally said, Paul, if you are saying something that positive and you can be attacked in this manner, because I've been listening to the radio, that's what he said to me. I think you should be careful what you say. And from that day, I said, no more.
No more radio interviews.
No more even talking publicly to the media about party politics.
Till today?
MPP, yeah, till today.
9 years ago.
You are the man who is making me talk. And I've told you why.
Thank you, sir.
At the height of all the problems, you were the only one who gave me a platform.
It's true.
To talk.
You said something about troubles and the 3 things that you should
The
never
3
forget.
things you never should forget, or 3 persons you should never forget. The first is the one who stood by you when you were in trouble. The second is the one who ran away from you when you were in trouble. And the third one is the one who caused the trouble for you. Never forget those 3 people.
That is deep.
And you'll be okay in life. You'll be okay.
So you were bitter 9 years ago when all that, storm was brewing.
It was anger.
It was anger.
Real anger. Because for me, I had come in to party politics not as a conscious decision. Initially, I went out. You see, I was involved with the party.
Right.
I was finance committee member and all that. So I realized that the party had reached a position where it was branded an Akan party, elitist and Akan. And I thought, no, we have to change this. So I actually went round contacted 6 Northerners. I can name them all. They are still alive today.
Yes. Who are these people?
Do you really want to know?
Why not? Maybe just 3 names will do.
Well, the last one of them was Ambrose Derry, the former interior minister, in his house. And I went with witnesses.
You brought Ambrose Derry in. He said, look, come in and let's do this.
Come in and be chairman of the party. And he said, no, senior, I won't do that. Because he was my junior in Avasco.
Okay.
When I was in upper 6, he was in lower 6, I think, yes. And I was in lower 6 and he was in form 5, something like that. And he said to me, senior, no. Why don't you do it yourself? You are good at organizing. I've noticed that. Why don't you do it? And I said, no, I'm not into that. I'm ready to finance a Northerner.
To become the chairman?
To become the chairman of the party. Just so as to break this thing about a Khan party and get the party moving away from a Bluto party, you know? Because when I went to the Volta region, that's what they told me. They said, a Bluto party. And I had to also tell them that, no, we are not a Bluto party. Think about your origins. The first general secretary of our UP tradition was Modesto Apalu from Keta. You know, we had Reverend Ayeke and all those people working for the party. So I tried. And I spoke to Zachariah, who served as a member of the Council of State, the last council. And he was also my senior in secondary school. I spoke to Boniface Sadiq. I spoke to quite a few of them.
That you are ready to finance a Northerner
to become a chairman. In order to break that thing about a Khan-based party, a Khan party, elitist party, and that it was something that was open to all of us. In the end, when each and every one of them refused, and the last person I visited being Honorable Ambrose Derry, and he said to me, why don't you do it yourself? I went away and I said, okay, forget it. But then, the late Atuluk, he came to me one day in the office and said, look, bro, this thing is serious. Oh. What you've told us, we have been talking to people out there to see which of them will be interested. So we promote the person. But it all goes on and comes back to tell him to do it himself. So I said, okay, I'll test the waters. That's when I set off. First thing I did was to go to the north, to my father, who has been a long-standing member of the MPP, regional treasurer, council of state, elected. So I went to him and I said, Dad, this is what I want to do. And he said, Paul, are you sure? I said, yes, I want to do it. What are your reasons? And I told him. And he said, okay, I'll think about it. Go and then we'll talk tomorrow. Next day, I go back to my dad and he says, Paul, I think you should do it. It will be difficult, but I think if you are that determined, do it. So for me, I didn't set off initially to be party chairman.
Okay.
I'd served in the finance committee and that was enough for me.
You weren't ready to become the party chairman?
No. I wasn't thinking about that at all.
But how significant was that moment, personally and politically, in 2014 when you became the national chairman of the MPP?
Ooh, that was mind-blowing. Because, you know, I went through a grueling campaign. I visited every constituency in Ghana 3 times. And I went the first time when we knew elections were imminent. So the people I spoke to in the constituencies were not definitely going to be executives next time round. And then the second time and the third time. And the sort of things that I had to go through. So it was such a great relief. Can you imagine that you are opposed by the so-called gurus of the party? I'm going to give you a quotation.
Sure.
After I saw my dad, I went over to see President Akufo, and he just listened to me for a while, and he said, okay. And he changed the topic, and we're discussing something else. After a while, he just threw a question at me. He said, if you can do it, that would be great. By then, I was lost because he was now talking about going to observe the South African elections.
Okay.
So I said to him, I said, sir, what do you mean? He said, you said you want to be chairman. And I said, oh, yes. If you can do it, that would be great. I thanked him. And then he said to me, go talk to Akufo Addo. He is the presidential candidate. And I said, thank you, sir. So I left. I called Nana at the time, presidential candidate. Well, he wasn't. He had lost the elections and now he was going to contest again. And he said he was out and about. Those were his words. I'll come to the court. And I said, okay. So I went over to see Honorable Kwajom Piani, the Chief of Staff, Kufuor's Chief of Staff, and I talked to him. And in fact, Honorable Mpiani, his wife Faustina, we call her Auntie. She just said to me, Paul, can you do this? I said, why not? She said, you don't take nonsense from people, and you get a lot of it in politics. It is something that I wonder. And I said, Auntie, I will do it for the sake of the party and the country. I will do it. I'll discipline myself. I am able to do that. Then Akufo Addo called me whilst I was at Kwajom Piani's house and gave me time to come the next day. So I went to his house the next day and I told him what I wanted to do. And now I come to the court. He said, I suggest that you don't do any campaigning now because the party is in court. You remember the election petition?
Yes, correct.
You and I were not there.
Yes.
So wait until the decision is made. In fact, Addison, the lawyer, had preceded me into Nana Addo's study.
Okay.
So he came out and said, the lawyer has just left here and he says that a decision will soon be coming. So please don't do anything until after the decision. And I said, Nana, I'm not campaigning. I'm just informing people like you. And in fact, President Kufuor told me to come and inform you.
You told him that?
Yes. And he said, really? I said, yes. He said, and I'm grateful. I said, that's what he said. Then he said to me, okay, when the time comes and you are going to contest, and this is the quote, direct, I haven't forgotten it. What, since 2014? I haven't forgotten it.
Right.
You will,
11 years ago.
Yes. And if the party is looking to the north, you will find that I am not your enemy. That was a loaded thing. But I just took it to my stride. I said, yeah. Instead of saying you'll find that I'm not opposing you, I'll be okay and all that. He said, I'm not your enemy. For me, it was nothing, and I went off. And that was it. Now, to have gone through all that, including party gurus who were campaigning actively against me, trying to smear my name. On one occasion, they even called me a homosexual.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes, and I don't want to name names.
You've been through a lot.
And I actually called the person who said that. I called him and I said, I hear you're calling me a homosexual. And so where did you hear that from? I said, I asked you a question. Either you say yes or no. He said, I don't want to engage in that sort of conversation. I said, anyway, I called you to tell you one thing. If I am a homosexual and you describe me as a homosexual, I will not be offended because that is what I am. If I am not a homosexual and you call me a homosexual, then you're only just telling lies because I am not a homosexual. So I'm not offended. I'm just calling you to tell you that this sort of negative politics is not good. So just leave it. Respect yourself. And it's an older man.
Wow.
Older man.
All in the name or because of politics.
Politics. So I told him my truth and cut it and moved on. This is what I went through. So on that day, after all the vote buying in Tamale.
Or people bought votes to kick you out, to
Look,
make sure that you will not become.
I had constituency chairman come up to me and say, Chairman, not chairman then.
Yes.
Mr. Afoko, look at this money.
Wow.
I've just been given this money and told to go and share it amongst my executives.
Did you buy votes?
Why would I do that?
You've never done that.
I had gone round the constituencies. I had gone round 3 times. I had delivered my message. I had warned them that if we did not win the next election, the sitting president would win his second term. That would mean NPP being in the wilderness for 12 years.
Wow.
And we will be emaciated. So it was only good and proper that we got together, fought this thing properly and diligently.
And they bought into your message.
And they got my message. They got my message.
So we have vote buying in politics.
Oh, it's happening.
You witnessed it.
I witnessed it. I mean, I even went in anger to go and confront the presidential candidate at the time to say, look, please save your money. You are wasting your money. I'm going to win.
Who was that?
But who was the presidential candidate?
No.
Nana Akufo Addo.
You confronted Nana Akufo Addo.
No, they blocked me at the entrance to his room.
You wanted to go talk to him.
Modern City Hotel Tamale. They blocked me. And his bodyguards and said, oh, he's in the bathroom. He can't see you. And I saw Tanko, who is Dr. Bahomia's bodyguard. And I used to be very free with that guy. And I said, Tanko, I spoke to him in Hausa. I said, Tanko, what are you doing here? He said, oh, doctor is in there with Akufo Addo. And I said, oh, really? So I turned to his bodyguards who had blocked me and said, are you really telling me that I can't go in because he's in the bathroom? But there's somebody else in there. So I turned to walk away and I met Kisi, the former Eastern Regional Chairman. And he was going in. So I said, Kisi, where are you going? He said, oh, I'm going to see Akufo Addo. He's called me, so I'm going in. I said, oh, really? Good, I have a message for him. And if Kisi is honest, he will call in whilst we are on air and tell you that I told them.
That's what?
I said, go and tell the Akufo Addo that he should save his money. He should save his money. And that whatever he does, I'm going to win this election. The person who brought the chairman, who brought the money to me, I was standing with him when he got a phone call saying, you told Akufo Addo that you were not going to do what he is asking and that you will vote for him to be presidential candidate, but he should allow you the free rein to pick who will be chairman of the party. And he said, yes, I did. And I was standing there listening.
You heard him?
Yeah, I heard the person who was talking to him. And that was Lord Comey.
Lord Comey called
This,
the gentleman in question. What's
yes.
his name? What's his name? No who's bad interview tonight.
Former OSU chairman.
Former OSU chairman of the MPP.
Yes.
Lord Comey called him.
Yes. I was standing with him at Modern City. And he said, yes. Oh, but look, if it is that you need more money to go and do this thing, come. I'll give you more money. He said, I don't want any more money. And that OSU chairman is still alive. He's subsequently even contested the seat in OSU. And
you went on to win that election.
I won it that day, that night. And after winning it, you want to know how I felt.
Yes,
it
that's
was
the question.
Yes,
what moment like
it
personally?
was so. First, I was tired anyway because I'd been on my feet all day, and then all through the count, which was way into almost midnight. So I was really tired, but the relief of winning gave me a boost of energy. I call it adrenaline.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed the moment, and I was so. The significance of that win was not lost on me because I suddenly realized that the MPP as a party would elect a minority person and send that clear message that we're not an account-based party. And believe it or not, my biggest block of votes came from the account regions.
wow. And that is the truth.
Yes, and Volta region. The Akan areas and Volta region gave me more votes than the North, where I come from. What does that say about the party?
Did you speak to President Akufo Addo,
Yes.
then candidate Akufo Addo,
Yes,
after
yes,
that?
yes.
What did you say to him?
That same night he called me into his room.
Okay.
When I went in, he was there with Afoko, who is dead now, his uncle. And I went in with Boniface Sadiq. And he asked me, okay, congratulations. What are your plans for the party? And I said, well, we'll have to get back to Accra and see how things go. But all I know is that I will be an honest broker. I want to put the party on an even keel for us to go forward and fight the next election. And whoever wins our presidential primaries, we make that person president. That's what I told him.
And you meant that?
With all my heart. Because for me...
Did you support his bid? Now you had won as party chairman.
Before I became chairman, I supported somebody else. I supported Alan Chamartin. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
I went around the country campaigning vigorously.
You believe that Alan was better?
Yes, absolutely. At the time, yes.
At the time,
I believed it completely. But once I had become chairman, there was no way. As a referee of the match, you cannot be seen to be supporting somebody. So I became an honest broker. I stayed away from meddling in the internal politics. To the extent, I tell you, that even for parliamentary primaries, there were places I would go to, especially in the north, and they would see somebody would come to me, oh, I'm contesting the primaries, oh, I'm contesting, give me support, give me, and I just say to them, look, I'm the chairman now. Yes. I can't do that. I'm the referee. Go out there, fight. Whichever one of you wins, you'll get my backing to win the seat.
Wow. And you were as candid as
clear and candid, as honest as I was
possible that you
as I was brought up.
Correct.
My upbringing. We as kids, we had a saying, say the truth and shame the devil.
Correct.
We took it to heart. And don't forget, in previous interviews, I was bound for the Catholic seminary.
We'll get into that. Talking about, your upbringing.
So for me, all those things.
Your formative years.
Yes.
Did President Kufuor call you? What did he say to you on that day that you won as party chairman? What was his message? You remember?
Can I remember it now? No, but I can remember rather Araya Lassan, the late Araya Lassan, one of the stalwarts of the party. He had given me his blessing before I left for the stadium in Tamale. And after I won, I saw that he was calling me over and over and over. And I said, no, this old man, I can't talk to him on the phone. So I asked everybody to join me, and we drove straight to his house.
Wow.
And I went to him and said, sir, the victory
Your son
is here.
Your
son has come with the victory.
Wow.
Very happy. Unfortunately, he died before the elections, and I made a promise to him at his graveside in Kumbungu that we will win the election, and I will come back and tell him that MPP is in power.
You did? Wow.
I didn't live to see that, did I?
But at least you got that message to him, and the MPP won. But you didn't go.
Yes.
Anyway, talking about you didn't get to see that and all of that. 2014 elected, 2015 you were kicked out. Tell me about it. Your tenure was marked by fierce internal disputes, and eventually that led to your suspension. Chairman Afoko, tell me, looking back, do you feel misunderstood or unfairly treated?
I think it's both, actually. It's both.
You were misunderstood
and
unfairly treated.
Yeah.
You stand by that.
Yeah, I do. I stand by that. You see, for those who opposed me, those who didn't want me to be chairman, and fought me all the way, as I said, vote buying, mudslinging, lies being told, all of that, I still won with a huge majority. They never gave up. In fact, I was told that one of them said, And my tree is not good anyway, but
Go
I
ahead.
speak
Yeah.
tree. It's
At
one
least
of
you
the
tried.
languages.
No problem. Go ahead.
Or see what the chairman. Yeah, quite crime. My number chairman,
Someone said that.
yes, he's still alive.
Wow.
He's still alive, and he knows himself. Anyway, so we came to Accra, and it was all this. I wanted a reform of the party. I didn't want this party to continue being seen in that light of being an elitist party. I wanted it to be seen as a party of the people, a mass party. And so I started looking at the reforms. In fact, one of the reforms that I brought about, which was an operational thing anyway, was that I insisted on every constituency in this country opening a bank account. And I pushed 10,000 CDs into every single constituency.
You did that. Chairman,
Yes.
you are loaded. Every single constituency.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gave them 10,000
Yeah,
CDs.
but that wasn't my money.
No,
That wasn't
but
my
at least
money.
you have a good heart. You
Yeah,
did. give
yes.
them.
And I was opposed strongly, even within the executive.
Why? Why?
Why should you be sending the money to constituencies?
Oh, really?
No, don't do that. And I said, come on, we have to finance and fund our base. That was part of what I was
But
making.
these are some of the same. I mean, these are the people, or some of them, who accused you of being out of touch with the grassroots, because it was some of, the comments that came up, and they felt that you were more aligned with internal factions than party unity. What would you say
see,
to that? How do you respond?
I would respond by saying that they were wearing blinkers. They had prejudged a situation and never had clear mind about me. You see, when you prejudge somebody, no matter what they do, you've judged them, and that's it. How could I have been if a person driven by factionalism?
You said you weren't in touch with the grassroots. You were more of an elitist.
I was more in touch with the grassroots than any of them.
Wow, you were.
Absolutely. I was the one sending money out. I was the one saying every constituency must be empowered. I was the one sitting in my personal private office in cantonments.
Running party business.
Yes. Calling them and saying, open bank accounts. And the naysayers were rather the ones who were calling the constituencies and saying, oh, don't mind him, don't open those accounts. Until they started seeing that 10,000 CDs was going to all those who had opened accounts. Then quickly they started to open their bank accounts. And then we sent the money. And I don't know whether you have the means to check it, whether since that time any constituency party account has seen that sort of money paid into them. Because I wanted to strengthen the base. That is where you win elections. When I went around, I told every party member I spoke to that they should realize that they are the true owners of the party. The people sitting at the top, you see them on TV, you hear of their names. They are there because you are there. If you are not there to support them.
But that's why maybe some thought you were a destabilizing force, because you were fighting maybe for principle. Was it simply for power? Or you stood for something? Chairman?
Well, I stood by my own core principles, abiding principles.
Which
principles that would supersede a mortal. I didn't think of supporting a human being. I thought of supporting the party and build it on those same principles that the party was built on fairness, equity, development, in peace, and therefore, whatever I did to strengthen the party, not to go against anybody, because by then the game was set. I set up a committee headed by the former Attorney General, Honorable Ayikwe Otu, and I was tasking them to go around the country. At that time, the party's coffers were literally empty, and I was doing it from my pocket. To go around the country and to begin to sensitize all party executives in every region, every constituency, gather them and let them understand the constitution of the party, let them know their rights and their responsibilities, so that the party will be strengthened from the base. If not, how can we go forward to win anything? But that whole thing was scuppered. It never took off.
Wow. Do you believe that your removal was engineered to clear the way for certain individuals within the MPP hierarchy? If so, who?
I think the facts speak for themselves. They do. Because you see, after I was suspended, you recollect the number of party executives that were suspended across the country. It was just to beat everybody into submission, to cow them into submission. So the suspensions just kept coming out across the country. And that was not something that would help the party. I mean, it's continued even till today.
But they moved on. They went on to win the 2016 election. So
Absolutely.
if that was bad, or you had set up the structures.
We set up everything for them to go and win. We set it up. I resisted moves to say, oh, these people should not be allowed to go through primaries. This group of people should be treated separately. I resisted it. And I have witnesses to it. Sat in the room and said, we will not sit in Accra and decide for people in the far corners of Ghana.
That people should go unopposed.
People should go unopposed. I'm not going to accept that. Everybody will go through primaries.
And they will fought you for that.
Yes. Hard. And in the end, I must say, 30 of our MPs lost their primaries. Some of them my very close friends. Until today, they are still my friends. Somebody like Dr. Anani. You know, friends. How? I wouldn't have wished him to lose his primaries, but for the sake of democracy, I did all that and made sure that we had primaries that was clean, fair, because I believe in fairness, and all the way to the presidential primaries, where the party actually elected Nana Akufo Addo as a presidential candidate. I wasn't working in factions. No.
Were you ever tempted to walk away from politics entirely after what you went through in the MPP? Ever considered that?
Yes, I did say. I did say after my suspension had gone through, and I went to court, and the court came up with that bizarre judgment. I walked away and said, never again. Wow. I'm not going to go and look for any active position in party politics, because it's a thankless job. You come in with ideals, and this is what you get, that people can sit somewhere and concoct lies about you, all the way to the point of even killing to get rid of you.
Really? People you got messages?
The matter is sub judice, so...
Wow, yes, you don't want to...
You remember my brother Greg?
Yeah.
My brother
Greg Afoko, yes.
Greg didn't kill anybody. He didn't. But some people killed Adams. And on the back of that, they went around trying to remove me. The petitions that came to the party, to that disciplinary committee, those petitions talked only about the killing of Adams. Oh, if we don't remove this man, he is going to try and make sure that Akufo Addo loses the elections. And those two petitions came from two Northerners. And funny enough, if I gave you those petitions today, you will see word for word it was the same thing.
The two petitions?
The only difference was their names and their addresses. Finished.
You kidding us?
Yeah, no. So as I say, it was all cooked. But I was angry at that time. There were points at which I was so incandescent with rage. Incandescent. But one day I went over to President Kufuor and he said to me, Paul, he was talking about Nigeria, I don't want to hear that. And he said, you are still angry. Your anger is eating you.
President
it go.
Kufuor told you that?
Yes, he said, let it go. Why are you angry? The people you are angry at. And so after about 2 years, 2017, 2018, I went to visit President Kufuor again, and he said, Paul, the anger is gone? I said, yes, sir. He said, how do you know? I said, sir, these days, when I see them on TV, I don't change channels. When they
Oh,
are,
you used to change channels.
because I couldn't stand the sight of people I believed were liars
Really?
and had engineered my removal just for their own selfish ends, not for the sake of the party.
Are you still angry
So,
and bitter? No.
Oh, no, it's all gone.
Have you met any of them after?
Oh, absolutely.
What was the rapport like? What was the relationship like?
Recently, my most recent meeting was with President Akufo Addo on the flight to Kumasi. Oh no, actually from Kumasi to Accra. And we spoke. And he actually said, oh, please, let's get together back in Accra, okay? And I said, yes, I'm going to my farm. When I come back, we'll get together.
It might not have been him. He didn't engineer it. How do you know that he was behind it?
Well, I don't know. I can't say for sure. But,
so then why were you bitter against him? But what?
I wasn't bitter against him.
Yeah, the system.
The whole set. And he was head of that set. So?
Did you ever discuss that with President Akufo? What did he tell you?
President Akufo is, as I've described him, a quintessential
gentleman
and Democrat and a party man through and through. And he would keep telling me, Paul, calm down, let the party work. The party in its own wisdom will come out finally and see the truth.
Wow.
So just keep quiet, stay away.
And don't talk.
Keep quiet, stay away.
Many also believe that if he had remained chairman through the 2016 elections, maybe the NPP wouldn't have won. Then they're saying that, well, it was good that we drove him out to put systems in place and all of that. If he had remained chairman, tell us candidly, sincerely,
yes,
through the 2016 elections,
yes,
do you think the NPP will still have won power?
Look, I exited in 2015. Almost end of 2015. You think all that I did was for nothing?
You had
okay,
structures.
So I wasn't chairman. In the next elections, what did they get? From the 160 something that my work gave to the party, the next election, it came 137, isn't it?
So you believe that the work that you did,
yes,
2014, 2015,
yes,
getting into 2016,
yes,
everything
had been said. Everything had been said. We'd gotten our parliamentary primaries done, dusted, presidential primaries done, dusted. All that was now left was campaigning across the country. What else?
Wow.
What else?
Well, we're hitting some 5 minutes to 8. We have some messages coming in. And this one is from Irene. Irene at Rich. Irene says that, I'm wondering if Mr. Paul Afoko is finished with frontline politics. Bola, please ask him if there's still unfinished business. Is he plotting a comeback?
Plotting? That sounds very conspiratorial.
So I would say, are you planning? She says plotting. I would say planning
a
comeback.
When you talk about planning, as we speak today, I've only broken my silence because of the state of the party today. It's nothing to write home about.
You think the MPP is nothing? The state in which it is now is nothing to write home about?
It's rudderless.
The NPP is rudderless. They don't have any, rudder that they can help them to navigate.
Leadership
is lacking in the NPP.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
And discipline. Leadership, discipline, they go together. I can see it. But
there's a party chairman. There's a party general secretary who's out there doing great jobs and mobilizing. You think that the party is rudderless?
Where's the party chairman?
Well, he actually put in a request. I think that he's actually excused him, maybe on health grounds. We don't know, family matters. So why? That is a genuine request.
And as per the constitution, the first vice chairman takes over.
Correct.
When I say leaderless, you see, if a party makes a decision that we have an election coming up, or we are not going to take part, stay away, and party members, you see, without even going to talk to the people in that constituency to say, look, we really want to boycott. What do you people think? You may end up not having representation in parliament. What do you think? And let the grassroots tell you that we think we can fight this thing and win it, so don't boycott. But you make a decision and then you impose it on them.
You think that was not fair, that was not right?
And they proceed
yes.
to ignore you. And your member goes and files to contest that seat. And all your top gurus go there to campaign against the party's instructions. Will you call that leadership?
You were worried?
Discipline?
You were worried?
You were
disappointed?
Concerned, yes. Concerned that there's no discipline, there's no proper management and leadership.
But you have a strong minority led by Osahene Afenyomarket. You believe that there are great people in your party, the
What
MPP.
did you just say? A strong what?
Minority?
Is this where the MPP should be?
The MPP should be what? The majority.
A minority? Historic minority? When has the MPP ever lost elections and gone below 100
seats?
When?
Well, but times,
since 92.
But times and seasons, Chairman Afoko.
Why? That's the question. Why?
You attribute it to leadership in the MPP now.
I tell you something. When I came back home from exile, I looked at the two political parties. And because I saw the NDC to be militant at the time, I didn't think I could make truck with them. And I saw the MPP to rather be the party where there was no militancy. People were talking about a jousting of ideas rather than a jousting with swords and knives. And I thought that was it. This is the place to be, to think, to follow their principles, to have free market, business, enabling environment for business to thrive, nurturing the youth to grow. And so, and obviously, because of my,
your political history.
My dad, and before him.
Between NDC and NPP, you're saying that at the time, you saw NPP to the best among the two.
Yes.
What about now? And it leads me to my next question. What is your assessment of the current NDC government? Sincerely.
No, you see, sincerely, what I would say is that the MPP as a party has not recognized its potential. It has not achieved its potential because there's been a sidetracking of the forward march. It's still a party worthy of looking at and rebranding, rebuilding. And you see, when I said to you earlier that I saw the NDC at the time when I came to be a militant party, it seems the roles have reversed. It seems today, and what I'm going to describe to you is something I will say is a danger to our democracy. Our democracy is endangered when you cannot have two centrist parties. We had the NDC that was out there, and for all those who are old enough to remember the Azoka boys, you did anything wrong, they got you. Remember Francis Asiam in Kufodia? They used Baranzu. People don't know Baranzu. It's like a horsewhip to whip her. And she was the woman organizer of the NDC. Then they started to move to the center. Asumdwe Hene came to power, and when Rawlings was asking him to arrest certain people, his famous quote, he did it publicly. He said, "Let me make my own enemies. I don't want to inherit your enemies." At that time, I sat back and said, what is this man doing? He was shifting the party away from the extreme. Then, John Mahama became president. And when he was asked to do a similar thing again, He came out and said, we came to power through the ballot box, not the bullet. And I remarked to my colleagues, I said, hey, something is shifting here. Let's be careful. And then Asiya Dunketia said, the barking dog has been caged and shut up. At that point, I knew that the NDC had shed its militancy clothes. And those babies with sharp teeth, as they were described, were talking very mature civil language. On the other hand, after I had been thrown out, by the courts anyway, because ultimately it was a court decision, we started developing invincible forces, Delta forces, Bolgatanga Bulldogs, and we rather became militant. As chairman of the party, I was sitting in my office in Cantonments when I got a phone call. Come to the party office, there's something happening. When I got there was a full-blown fight. People were using knives.
At the party headquarters?
Yes. It was captured on TV and all that. And I just went in there. I didn't go upstairs. I went into the fighting and said, look, you guys have to stop what you are doing. Stop it. Why? Just because we want to be the ones guarding the headquarters, not this set of people. What do you mean? Look, I mentioned a certain gentleman called Atuluk. He was one of the people instrumental in getting me to go for the chairmanship. At party headquarters, we closed one evening, I was driving away, and Atuluk was also walking out, and I stopped, I said, Atuluk, jump in, let's go. He said, no, Chairman, I want to go and see somebody over there before, so you can go. I left. They cornered him, grabbed him, put him to the ground, stretched out his hand, and somebody jumped and stamped on his hand and broke the bone to pieces. And then they told him, go and tell that you're Afoko, that next time a life will be lost. This is what happened. But for me, I just say that, as I said earlier to you, that our democracy is endangered if we cannot have centrist parties. One cannot be extreme and the other center. I think the MPP should find its way back to the center of politics.
So your assessment of the current NDC is that they've moved away from the militancy. Now they are measured as opposed to the MPP. Really?
Really?
I'm asking.
I think any Ghanaian listening to me who observes Ghanaian politics, the examples abound. The examples abound. They abound.
MPP is complaining about Ablekuma, same in Akwetia, saying that, some violence or bit of violence or pockets of it. We saw Azoka's confrontation and all of that. And you want to say that is more of the NDC thing now?
You see, I have always said that the Ghanaian electorate has become more discerning. And democracy has deepened. Social media especially has widened that space.
The scope, right.
The scope. How can anybody look you in the eye? Bola, you are a very astute political watcher. Look you in the eye and give you those examples. Didn't we see what happened at Ayawaso? Didn't you see what happened in Techimai?
So comparatively, if you do that analysis, then clearly you're saying that Ayawaso.
What I am saying is that yes, somebody has done something wrong today. Let's deal with it.
Okay. But that was a flash in the pan compared to you're saying that there were numerous of MPP.
What I'm saying is that don't go out as if you are holier than thou. You are not. Honesty is good for all of us. Honesty is good.
On the back of that, and still with the current state of the NPP, what advice would you give to leadership? Since you're saying that, well, it's a problem with leadership when it comes to the NPP. What advice would you give to the leadership of the NPP?
Well, you see, leadership by example. if the leader is seen to be a person of peace, of calm, will brook no nonsense, will not allow any, as we call it, patapa, then that is the example that will be set for the party. But if the leadership will also resort to that, then the followers will do the same.
We'll be going for a break, and then we'll get to talk about your personal life and, how you get to unwind. And we talked about your favorite food, and somebody just sent in a message that you're a good cook as well. And you talked about your brother, he suffered enough for a crime that he didn't commit. Abner in Bosche in Hachu says that with his trial still pending, how would you describe the pace and transparency of the judicial process thus far when it comes to Greg Afoko, your brother? Abner from Hachu wants to know.
Well, it's been a travesty.
Justice.
A huge travesty. And look, Greg, for example, was one of the people who was a polling agent for Nana Akufo Addo in Sandema at the polling station in front of the palace, our home. And he brought the polling sheets that he refused to sign and wrote the reasons why. He brought them all to be part of the court case. In
2012?
Yes. I, on my part, campaigned vigorously for Akufo Addo to win. Yet, just for Afoko not
103.5
to jump when you are asked to jump, but Afoko will rather ask you, why do you want me to jump? If you tell me why and convince me, I will jump. Whereas every majority around would say, how high do you want us to jump? Greg was lied upon. He was framed. They said Greg was the one who killed Adams. I was in Bolga at the time. I left Bolga and was going to Wa because we were doing a regional tour. We were going around the country. Kwabena, Ajapong, myself, and we were supposed to go with two other executives, Trey actually, who didn't come with us at the last minute. And I believe strongly that if I had not left Bolga and gone into the Upper West region, they would have said I did it.
Oh, really?
I believe
you believe strongly that they would have said that you did?
I did it. I believe that strongly. And they started screaming, oh, Greg Afoko has done this. And how many years of trial now? How many years? And you see, when somebody, according to the Constitution and the laws of Ghana, Supreme Court, he is allowed bail, and he is given bail, and he meets all the bail conditions, none held back. I'm repeating this because at the time, some other media houses and other media personalities went around saying that he didn't meet the bail conditions.
Yeah,
he met all.
He did.
It's on record.
So what would you like Ghanaians to understand, not just about your brother's case, but maybe about compassion, the rule of law, patience in such matters?
You see, that's one of the things that I think I hold dearly, to be compassionate, to always stand with the underdog, to help the weak, to help the needy. And in this case, I didn't see it. Because can you imagine that they refused to give him bail at the last minute? Not to give him bail, he was given bail by the court. But at the last minute, at the courthouse, when it was to sign and go, the police officer who brought him got a phone call, went out, came back and said, hey, put those handcuffs back on him. Orders from above. He will not go on bail. And they took him away.
Interesting. Well, so messages coming in, and this is from Gameli in Roman Ridge. So Gameli wants to know from you, are you contesting or will you contest to become the chairman of the MPP? And let's hear it right here on Star Chat. Chairman Afoko.
I've already given you my answer. That first I said that no more.
Right.
I will not contest. Then
Then.
I added at the time that unless the conditions change, I will not contest. I will not even come back to the MPP to contest any position. I will stay there as a silent member, but not to contest any position.
The conditions have changed.
The
now.
conditions have become very drastic. This party has run into a ditch.
Are you going in there?
We've
like you're
run
saying?
into a ditch. But as we speak at the moment, I told you I'm a rice farmer now. And I've left my rice farm and come to Accra. I came on Monday.
Right.
And I'm going back. We have reached the stage where we are now just waiting to do our harvest in November. And once the harvest is done,
You have some time on your hands.
then I'll have time on my hands to review and reflect as to what I want to do next.
Okay. But never say never. We can see Paul Afoko come back for the chairmanship of the new Patriotic Party.
At this point in time, I have no such plans.
Okay.
At this point in time, as we speak, Bola,
Yes.
I have no such plans. The day I have that plan, you will be the first.
Thank you. for
Because the
giving me that
person who
honor.
stood by you when you were in trouble.
Thank you, sir.
I will come back and I will tell you to let the world know that I am no longer interested in anything, or yes,
You are going and you are
I
running.
think that this party needs to be rescued.
That's what humanity is about. All for one, one for all. Let's be there for one another, regardless party.
But
colors.
when we forget our elders, those who made us, when we forget them, because I was properly brought up as a Northerner,
Right.
when you forget your elders and you disrespect your elders and you don't want to tap into their wisdom, then you will get lost. Can you imagine people like Akufo? You heard his complaints. Can you imagine? Go around the country. We have Ajay Dako.
Are you saying the MPP has
Sunyani.
forgotten some of his elders?
I said, go to Sunyani and look at Ajay Dako and ask how far he works with the party. Yabrema and others. Kojom Piani. Nyaho Tamaklo. Roku Bobe Tazan. Look, the number is countless. This party really has the men. But the men are silent. I spoke to some of those men at the late Asante Inmas 1 week.
What did they tell you?
And I have a witness in the studio.
Yes.
My brother, the doctor.
Yes.
He was standing with me when the guy was lamenting, and I said to him, why are you not saying something? And he said to me, these people, they don't listen. I'm fed up. I'll just stay in my corner.
You've spoken after 9 years
Yes.
today.
Yes.
And that's historic. We'll go for a break. But before the break, you recently proposed a nationwide contribution of 1 Ghana cedi from every Ghanaian to help purchase new aircraft for the Ghana Armed Forces.
Yes.
What prompted that suggestion?
Well,
Some
you
people
see-
are lambasting you for it. Some people on, the feedback on Facebook and social media, people are positive, others are skeptical. Why did you suggest
You see,
that? Do we need one?
When people decide to take a certain blinkered view of everything, then they never have that wide horizon. Ask anybody who is lambasting. If they gave 1 CD to their child to go out and go to school, an elementary school child, what would that 1 CD buy? Nothing. So what I said was symbolic. I was more or less trying to say that we should all know the value of things, not their cost, the value. And we had just lost in one fell swoop 3 government ministers, 1 fell swoop.
In
And
fact,
don't forget
8
the
officials.
pilot.
Yeah.
The pilot was my nephew.
Oh, the pilots.
The mother is my sister.
Wow. Huge one. Blow.
So I said, hang on, we need to retool our army. And for that matter, retool all our public services. And if we have to put in 1 CD each, let's do it.
You still stand by that call.
Symbolic.
Yes.
Symbolic.
Somebody might give 100,000, 10 cities, 50,000. Then.
Just, I don't want to stir a pot of controversy.
No, do.
But I could actually sit here and point to you priority areas that are not priority And those monies could have gone into our health service, could have gone into our schools,
Like
could
where?
have gone into retooling
Like
our
where?
army,
Like where?
and
Wait,
buying planes and helicopters for our army, taking care of our nurses and teachers and doctors.
Which areas are you looking at?
There are too many.
Give us two.
There are so many.
Just give us two. Where?
Down the road from here,
The National Cathedral?
yes. Was that a priority?
So that's one. Second one?
Bola,
Yes.
you're pushing me.
We're going for a short break. We want you to calm down. And tell us, what's your favorite music? When you're relaxing, what kind of music do you love?